Hey everyone, it's Rich Bennett. Can you believe it? The show is turning 10 this year. I am so grateful for each and every one of you who've tuned in, shared an episode, or even joined the conversation over the years. You're the reason that this podcast has grown into what it is today. Together, we've shared laughs, tears, and moments that truly matter. So I want to thank you for being part of this journey. Let's make the next 10 years even better.
Coming to you from the Freedom Federal Credit Union Studios, Harford County Living presents Conversations with Rich Bennett.
Slow pitch
It's probably the least sexy part of the organizing. That's okay. No. The truth is,
Today on Conversations with Rich Bennett, we're joined by someone who did what many of us would laugh off. He turned a dreaded portable toilet moment into a luxury brand business. David Sauers, co-founder of Royal Restrooms, the company that now has more than 50 locations nationwide, redefining how the world thinks about mobile sanitation. David's journey began with a simple frustration: taking his young daughter to a standard porta potty and deciding there's got to be a better way. And I'm sure we've all experienced that before, whether it be taking a son, daughter, or even going there yourselves. So from there, he teamed up with his engineer partner and built a company that serves everything from high-profile weddings to disaster relief operations, always with an eye toward quality, design, and customer experience. He may say he's not the most polished speaker, but David's authenticity, willingness to learn from failure, and attention to detail bring an energy that will absolutely resonate. So, David, I want to welcome you, and man, I cannot wait to jump into this. I know this is going to be fun.
Hey, absolutely. Thank you, Rich. I appreciate being on there, and I'm excited about what is on board today.
All right, so before we get into Royal Restrooms, I like to ask this question a lot. Back in high school, what was it that you wanted to do? Even though they say we're supposed to have a career path in high school, we know that always changes afterwards. But what was it you wanted to do when you got out of high school?
Well, besides being a professional golfer, like most kids, they want to be some kind of professional athlete.
Well, you got that John Daly look.
Yeah, and I got to play a little bit when I was after college. So I was able to relive part of my dream in that aspect. But
nice.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wanted to be a politician.
Get out of here,
no,
really?
I went to college. I started with a political science degree and stayed that whole course. I was just fascinated by being in that sector, helping the movement, the community of organization and stuff. And I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm the outspoken leader, that I'm the one to jump to the class to rally everybody, but I liked the ability to help control and, I guess, put something together that was for a greater good.
Right. All right. Now here comes the pun, and I knew there was going to be a lot of puns, but I didn't think it would be this early. So instead of being a politician and slinging shit, now you're doing something where people are more comfortable leaving it.
That's right. I mean, it's fun, but yeah, we basically collect it.
Yeah.
So people deposit it with us.
All right. So explain this. When you took your daughter into that porta potty, and I'm sure we've all experienced this somehow. Just walk us through that moment of how it all came about.
Well, I think we can all envision it in our heads. We all have this thought with anything. When you're outside, especially with females, when you are at an outdoor event that's the one thing that you think about. Ooh, the thought, what's the bathroom going to be like? What's the porta potty going to be like? I mean, even men are, it's like, ooh, I can only do it at home. I can only do it where I'm in my safe space. It's a terrifying fact of life. It's just something that we do privately. But in my particular situation, what I think most people's are, when portable toilet is just the accepted, norm. Go into a bathroom, it was just, we're going to do what we have to do and move on. We're going to get back to the fun stuff. Well, that's exactly what happened with me. I just always accepted that. But when I took my daughter to the porta potty at that Shakespeare in the Park festival, I had to look at it from a different perspective. One, I had both of my girls with me, one on my hip and the other one's potty training. And she looks at it and she, this is terrifying. I turn around, there's no lights on, it's dark, we're crammed in. She's got her hands all on the toilet. And what's the immediate thing is, what, like, stop, don't touch, don't, all of a sudden that it becomes real. And I'm kind of frantic. I'm nervous about everything. Like, what do I do? There's nowhere to clean up. There's nothing. So I have to pass Cece outside to a stranger, and I'm basically holding Stella up over the bathroom toilet, over the portable toilet. And I kind of kick open the door just a little bit with my foot just to see. And the next thing I know is I have this warm sensation all over my leg. I'm holding her up, and now she is peeing all over me. Not the way that you envision a golden,
especially at a festival.
Yeah,
too.
right.
Yeah.
So I go from frustrated to upset and angry. There's nowhere.
I'm sure she had to be upset as well.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But there's nowhere to clean up, and I stand outside and I'm looking around and I'm looking at these tents. I'm looking at the lights in the trees, the chandelier. Like, why do we have all this wow effect, all these things to delight and invite people in? Why are we delegated to something that is so out of our normal sense of behavior? Our normal circumstance. We do everything to bring people in to have an enjoyable evening, and yet, we don't care about one of the things that is a crucial part of the event. So I left the event upset, went home and measured out our half bath to make sure that we could fit in as a family unit.
Right.
And just, why can't we put them on a trailer? We have RVs, we have boats, there's bathrooms and trains, planes, why can't we have one on a trailer?
Buses, why not? It makes sense.
And so that's really where it kind of originated from, was just out of a problem, a bad experience, and I looked for a solution.
Wow. And how long ago was that?
That was back in 2003, and the company started in 2004. So it's almost
damn, you didn't waste any time.
22 years.
You didn't waste any time. Sorry, so before you started the company a year later after that, which is amazing, what was it that you were actually doing at that time?
I was a commercial lender for a local bank.
Okay, so you started the company. How long before you started Royal Restrooms before you were able to leave the your other job?
Well, that goes back to the whole image, the whole stigmatism of what that industry says. Unfortunately, we started to gain a little bit of traction, a little bit of notoriety. The business actually grew faster than we had anticipated. And my bank just said, you're going to be in the porta potty business or you're going to be a banker. You can't be both. The image is and it's wow, okay, I've met all my goals. I've done everything that is required of me. I am a very good banker. And wow, I guess I'm gonna go be a porta potty guy.
Good. And hopefully that company's calling you to use your restrooms now.
Oh, absolutely. You know,
But here, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
All right, so here's the sad thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're down in Georgia, right?
Savannah, Georgia.
Savannah, Georgia. So you guys have festivals all the time and wedding. I mean, people go there for destination weddings and everything. Was there another company like this there, or were you the first one?
No, we were the first to market this type of product. Now there were other companies out there. I think it was Executive Restrooms and Black Tie, and of course like Polar Restrooms. But they had very large trailers, like big 53-foot semis that were actual
expensive as hell.
Yes, but they were big for your golf tournaments, your tennis tournament. They weren't built for something small and intimate, and they were just so far outside of the reach from a cost standpoint that it wasn't feasible to do anywhere else. Which I think that was has always been the big hurdle is, being able to make it practical and cost efficient, which is why the traditional portable toilet is always been the king.
The one thing I don't understand, and you see this, well, no, I do understand it, because you have a lot more weddings that are done outdoor. And it seems like the barns are the big thing. But not all the farms have restrooms, and if they do, it's very limited size. So was your original goal originally mainly just for weddings, or was it for I was getting ready to say funerals? God,
we do a lot of those as well.
Oh, get the hell out of here!
No,
are you serious?
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay, I thought my sister was the only one because she's not in the restroom business. She's in the event planning business, and she says anything from womb to tomb. But wow, restrooms at a funeral?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's supposed to be a celebration of life, and a lot of people, a lot of people, especially when they are living on a septic tank. You have that gathering of people. Yeah. Our bathrooms go anywhere that are, needed. I mean, we supplement, apartment complexes. We supplement sporting, events,
construction services,
anything that you can think of that you need a nice facility to help streamline your whatever function you're at.
All right, when you said funerals, I'm thinking that your restrooms were set up in the cemetery.
Sometimes they are.
At first. Oh, come on.
Sometimes they have been.
Wow. Okay, because that one just blows me away. Besides that, what's probably something where your restrooms are at where you were just like, it was unexpected? Nobody would have thought of it. I mean, right away, for me, it would have been the funerals.
There are all sorts of things that happen and that they are used for. I guess one of the more different things that we've done recently that kind of strikes, and this is really only because of the Murdoch files over in that's on Netflix now, that documentary. But we had restrooms out there at the courthouse, front and center at the courthouse when the Murdoch trials were going on.
Oh, wow. All right, so I still want to go back to the beginning. In 2003, when you came up with this idea, who was it that you approached first? Was it your wife, business, your company where you were working? And what was it that they said to you when you told them this idea?
If you're a podcast host or someone wanting to be interviewed on podcasts as a guest, visit podmatch.com. Podmatch automatically connects ideal podcast guests and hosts together for interviews. We always say it works just like a dating app, but instead of connecting you for dates, it connects you for podcast interviews. Podmatch has connected over 85,000 guests and hosts together for interviews that listeners love, all while saving you countless hours of administrative work through built-in automations. If you're ready to level up your podcast interviews on either side of the mic, start today by visiting podmatch.com.
So my wife was really the one who I had talked about it with. And that, it's one of those things that people talk about a lot of different things. We all have great ideas, but we seldom act on it. Every entrepreneur has got probably a little black book of things that they wish that they've done. And I think that everybody can say, you know what, I thought about that 3 years ago and now here it is, or I see it on TV. On made for TV or some kind of gimmick that would make things easier. I was the same. I had my life. I was comfortable in my life. I was successful at what we were doing. So this wasn't something that was some huge brainstorm or trial that we needed to do. It just continued to resonate. I came up with the idea, thought about it, wasn't sure exactly how it would all work, put it behind it, but we still went to festivals. We still went to outdoor events. And then every time it was like, wow, this is, I really need to do this. I really should do this. And it wasn't until my business partner, Robert Glisson, that we were at a party at his house and he had one of the big blow up screens in the back and we were watching a football game. We walked inside. We had all been drinking and he's got 7 or 8 people outside of his bathroom in a line. And we walked around. We were like, all right, forget that. We walked around to the side and peed on the side of his house. And I'm like, you know what? This would be great for my bathroom idea. And I started talking to him about the bathroom at that point. And we went down and sat down on his dock until 4 o'clock in the morning and brainstormed and mapped out all this in some drunken stupor of, that we're going to, it's basically like we're creating this on napkins here. And so Robert was one of the true catalysts that was like this, we can do this. He was really the first one that said, hey, we can make something happen to this and we can do it. And so we each leaned on each other. We both supported each other. And that's how we came up with Royal Restrooms. It was both of us putting our heads together, leaning on each other, supporting each other, and being able to make something happen that we both believed in. So even though it came out of that experience, it would have probably never happened without Robert. And it's that support that every business needs. You've got to have the real foundations and, truth behind what is necessary to build a business. You don't need somebody to tell you what you want to hear. You need somebody that's going to be your partner and build something together.
Mm-hmm. How'd you guys come up with the name?
We beat out a bunch of different names. Royal Restrooms and Regal Restrooms were the 2 front runners. And Regal was, I think, made us think of the cinemas, the Regal Cinema, the movie theater. Yeah. So we went with Royal Restrooms. We thought it was catchy. It was similar. We were able to buy the domains, and we thought that people would remember that from an elevated experience.
Well, it makes sense too, because you think about it, doesn't a royal flush beat everything?
Yes.
I had to get another pun in there, man. I had to. So did you ever think, because going to school, you wanted to be a politician, and then you're working at a bank. Did you ever think you would be an entrepreneur?
I actually did think that I would probably be an entrepreneur at some point. I always had that spirit growing up. Both my grandparents were small business owners. And growing up, my father went back to medical school when I was in 6th, 7th grade. So we didn't have a whole lot. We lived in a 2-bedroom apartment, going through high school with 5 of us in there. So I had to figure out ways to make money if I wanted to keep up with my friends and to do the things that my friends did. So I was always trying to find a way to be a little more creative to get more out of a regular job.
Well, and since you started this in 2004, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, number one, the business has blown up because you're nationwide now in most of the states. And actually, did you even think that was going to happen so fast?
No, absolutely not. I mean, people thought we were crazy when we started this.
Yeah.
They most of them looked down upon what it was. They said that you're never going to make money out of something for charging so much, which is why we targeted weddings, because we thought that was the one place that we could actually prosper in. But no, we did not. We never thought that, and we never had a vision for it to be as large as it is or as grand as it is, or even to change the industry like we did. We did not realize that we were going to have that big of an impact.
All right. You mentioned weddings, and if you have this, I'm just going to probably fall backwards. Because, with a lot of these weddings being outdoors and everything now, restrooms are important, but so are the bridal suites where the bride gets ready. You don't have trailers that are a bridal suite as well, do you?
We have something called Quick Space, which is a small portable room that we use for offices, that we use for changing stations. We use it for any kind of temporary setting. It's just a small office with it's an open space that has a small toilet in there, and then it has a little counter with sink. We're testing those.
Perfect for a bridal suite.
It is. We've actually used it one time for a bridal suite, but we've used it where we're testing different products in different markets to see how we can best utilize them.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you didn't just stop with Royal Restrooms. You've created some other things as well, right? I have.
I've created Savannah bar carts, Airy Transit trailers, which builds some of these trailers. I've got Pitch Perfect TVs. And one that is more of a hobby is Kruger Busch campers. And that is something totally different from the other businesses that I've started. But all of those businesses are supposed to be kind of feeder test markets for Royal Restrooms.
Okay. Oh, you got to explain this bush camper thing.
So right before COVID, we were at a Ducks Unlimited banquet, and my daughters wanted to go hunt in Africa. And so we bid on a trip to Africa to go on a safari. Well, COVID hit, it kept getting prolonged. And so I ended up just saying, you know what, when we finally do go over to Africa, we're going to stay and we're going to see some other things. So 4 years later, we went and spent about almost 6 weeks over in Africa. And we went through South Africa, Zimbabwe, Botswana, and Zambia. And we did the safaris, we hunted, we toured all these different sites, drove all up and down the countryside. And one of the things that we did was in Kruger National Park and going through the Serengeti out there. We were in campers, and the campers were not in the traditional sense like what we think of RVs. Over here in America, we hop in an RV and we go to this predetermined padded campsite and camp out in the RV. Over there, it was a tool. You didn't know what the terrain was going to be like. You did not eat inside because an animal may come and eat you. So all your cooking was done outside, but everything was positioned and built more marine-based, more like a boat. Okay. So it could traverse the terrain, go over any of the obstacles, be self-sufficient with solar power. But
Oh, wow.
so the campers that I came back and built and we designed are more overland style. They're 20-something inches off the ground, clearance-wise. They're all self-sufficient with solar power, but they're all marine-based built. So in other words, they're not going to fall apart after a year. It's almost like it's a, how do you say? The campers will be here well past their prime, I guess. You know, most
Right.
RVs are built quick, they tear up, and you go to the next one. This is something that you keep. It's something that you use. It's the purpose of it is to get you where you would not otherwise be. So it is, like we like to think of, as your suitcase for exploration rather than your typical outdoor RV adventure.
Is it similar? I don't know if you ever watched Duck Dynasty.
I have.
All right, the new version, revisited or whatever.
I haven't seen that.
There was there was an episode where Willie took the girls out on a survival trip, and he had, I guess it was similar to what you're talking about. I mean, the thing's huge, right?
Most of them. Well, we've got 4 different models.
Okay.
So like ours are. We've taken ours through a couple Jeep trail rated. So you can imagine that, you know, they're heavy duty. They're built to withstand the bumps and the bruises and all of that. It's not necessarily built for pleasure inside. You want to be outside. It's the tool to get you where you want to be.
Oh, I can't. I'm looking. I guess that's the website, Kruger Busch Campers.
That's it.
Those things are badass.
Yeah, they are a lot of fun.
Oh my God, I would not want to come back home.
Well, and
plain and simple.
You know, that's the thing. I have a hard time resetting and letting go of business, as most entrepreneurs do and most business owners, because when we're here in town, we always feel like we have to be on the phone, or we always have to solve some kind of problem or respond to something. When I'm out there, a lot of times I don't have great cell service. So I've got to pack it up, and I've got to recharge, and I've got to find that replenishment to be creative and to be the person that I am. Otherwise I get burned out and I'm not productive.
Yeah.
I'm not the best that I need to be.
You're listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. We'll be right back. Ever been caught off guard by a sudden heat wave or cold front? We've all been there. That's why I'm excited about our sponsor for this episode, EcoCool HVAC. Veteran owned and rooted in Harford County, EcoCool HVAC is your go-to solution for all things heating and cooling. Whether you're battling summer's heat or winter's chill, they've got you covered with their top-notch heating and air conditioning services, and even pool heating solutions. Stephen Crodell and his qualified team ensure rapid response and meticulous attention to detail. It's not just about providing a service. It's about caring for the community. Their motto, when you call, they care, and they're there. If you need professional, reliable HVAC assistance, dial EcoCool HVAC at 443-324-9714. Again, that's 443-324-9714, or visit ecocoolhvac.com. Again, that's ecocoolhvac.com. Here's to comfort all year round, thanks to EcoCool HVAC. There's the other thing that I like, and I guess it's still in testing, is the LED screens.
Yes.
God, that sounded like the LED. Because, well, you mentioned at your friend's place where he had the blow-up screen.
Mm-hmm.
You were watching football. Those things are nice, but the problem is, number one, they're blow-up, which means you know how anything inflatable can go. Plus, you got to store it. But this thing that you're testing is on a trailer that people can actually rent.
Yes.
Right?
So you can watch
How
it.
big are these screens?
They're 10 foot. So it's basically a 10 foot.
Wow.
It's a 10-foot screen. It's all high definition. We pull them up to your house. We've done a lot of movies for neighborhoods, for
Right.
club parties, neighborhood associations. that's really where we've targeted stuff. Like this weekend, we've got homecoming at Savannah State. We've got a few of them going out there. Last weekend, we had some going out to the new Kia plant. They had like a family day out there. So these things, you're able to watch them during the day in the sun. They're waterproof.
Oh.
They're on hydraulics, so it'll go about 8 feet in the air. So it's something that you can, we take them to backyard parties. It's something that I think just brings that wow effect. It makes it more. And with the bathrooms, this kind of goes hand in hand with that. It's the same as with the Savannah bar carts, the little boutique bar trailers that we've got. We don't serve the alcohol. We just bring the facility. So all these points just elevate and capture more of making an event more grand, but more exciting.
Wow.
And, that is kind of our add-on. That's our upcharge. That's our way to stay ahead of our competition and, just continue to be relevant.
It's smart business. That's what it is. Very smart business. So with you being located in other states, are those franchises or
Yes.
They are? So, all right. So if somebody wants to start their own franchise, say here in Maryland, because you guys aren't out here, how do they go about doing that?
So first thing, go to our website, royalrestrooms.com. You'll find some franchise information out there. We have never put a whole lot into rapid expansion, so you won't see this whole elaborate sales pitch. It's primarily in-house. Amy Tarter is our main person right now that is kind of managing that side until it gets to the point where it comes to me, where I get to kind of meet and talk about the more in-depth operations and to see how well of a fit they would fit in with the rest of our offices.
Okay. So all these things that you've been testing, with people, when you go to the website, you can see the stuff that he's been testing out. The bar carts are a big thing here. I should say drink carts, because there are some people that will use them for either alcohol. They'll do mocktails. I've even seen coffee bars done on some of these.
Yes. So, I mean, a lot of them, we've taken them to, school, like field days. We've taken them we took it to a church gathering the other day where they just served coffee out of. They just served lemonade out of. Some of them served ice cream. It's just something fun and different and unique. And it's not just a tent. You can lock it up. You don't have to fold it. You bring it. Everything is situated right there for you.
Something else you have, which I think is awesome, because I love the old Windstreams, like the vintage restrooms.
Yes.
And all. Are those actually old Windstreams, or is that something you created?
No, that's something that we create. For years, all of the wedding, for years, we've always struggled to get photos, pictures from just everywhere. With as many things that we've done, you would think that we would have this whole Dropbox storage library full of photos, but we don't have a whole lot of good photos. And a lot of the reason is, well, we've got a big white cargo box sitting at somebody's wedding.
Right.
It's usually pushed to the side because it's not so photogenic. And for the longest time, we kept trying to make them better on the inside. We were upgrading countertops, we're upgrading walls, we're doing the decor, but the outside was still this big white cargo box style thing. So I finally had the opportunity to redesign some of those trailers, and that's what I came up with, was that polished mirror, because one, it's that timeless piece. It looks aesthetically appealing. It's something that has been kind of the trend anyways, from your beverage carts and your photo carts, and people are doing those retro different Airstream type models.
Yeah.
But we were able to make that into a restroom, and we continued to tweak that. But the great thing about it is when you put it out there, it picks up this, it mirrors the surroundings. So you don't actually realize that it's right there. So even though as close as you have it, you don't even pick it up in a picture now. Because it mirrors everything else around it. So you don't notice it. It's not some big sore spot. So we've started to get more and more pictures. The brides love them. The event planners love them because it is a showpiece. The inside now, the new ones that we've made, they're all attractive. Bronzed inside. So you go in and you're like, oh, wow, I'm really sitting like, this is magnificent. Wow. I've never been in anything like this before in my life.
Oh, God, you guys got to get here in Maryland. I'm telling you, man, there ain't nothing like that up here.
We would love to be.
I know you're in Pennsylvania and I believe Virginia.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, all right, somebody start one up here. So are there any, because it seems like you just got ideas that are constantly popping in your head. Any ideas that you wanted to work on that didn't really pan out the way you were hoping?
Well, I think, all of these ideas, all these different things that I've tried, I would not say that any of them have near come to the success that Royal Restrooms has had. Because, to be honest, Royal Restrooms, I didn't do it all on my own. I had help. I had fantastic business owners that took the idea and cultivated it and spread it. The other businesses I've got, such as Kruger Busch Campers, I've run into hurdles with that. I would love to see things be a little bit more attractive, but to be honest, there's not a whole lot of places to go overlanding on the East Coast. That's more West Coast thing.
Right.
So a lot of our sales on that company have only been to some of your hunters, some of your more off-grid type people. Mm-hmm. I think I don't really call anything a failure. I call it a learning curve,
Thank you.
So even though I have not had the success in the others, I don't consider those failures. I just haven't hit that plateau of, hey, I've made it with this one as well. But even with the beverage carts, we get a lot of attention up front and then it backs off. We kind of quit selling that side of it, or because we get preoccupied with other things. So my time is divided a lot. And I think that if I could devote more time to each one and focus more on it, I think that each one of those businesses could be a whole lot more successful. But my focus is still mainly on Royal Restrooms. That's what I do. That's what I'm good at. And that's where my responsibility lies with my offices and, the culture as a whole. So, these are slow growth prospects. With the beverage trailers, they're in Colorado, Utah, Alabama, Texas, and Georgia. I'd love to have them in all of my offices and pitch this out because it truly can be an easy add-on. Just as with the TVs, right now they're only in Alabama and Georgia.
Oh wow!
So it's something that is still being tested and marketed. Our refrigeration trailers, we primarily have those just in Texas.
Now, what are those, the refrigeration trailers?
Well, as I mentioned before, there are a number of things that we do with restrooms. And when you think of large-scale events, usually you would need some type of refrigerated service for the food, flowers, like that. But we also do business remodels. So when your Texas Roadhouse remodels their kitchen or their refrigeration goes down, these are trailers that we can supply there. And a lot of times when they're doing these renovations, they're remodeling the bathrooms. So we put the bathrooms out there. We have, it's more of we have everything that you're looking for. You don't have to go through separate entities to try to find and source goods.
Something else, especially with the restrooms, because this is something you don't see a lot either. They are ADA compliant, right? I mean, you have restrooms that are ADA compliant.
Absolutely. We even have shower trailers that are ADA compliant.
Nice. And what about the oh God, I'm going to get the name wrong. It's been a while since I had kids, young kids. The changing tables.
Yes. So all of our handicap units, we supply as kind of a family access mobile room.
Okay.
And so they'll all have baby changing stations in there as well.
So to me, anybody who wants to start a franchise, it just makes sense that they contact you guys.
Oh, hey, we're there to support it.
Or use you if they're down where you are.
Exactly.
Wow. All right. So for anybody listening that has that crazy idea that they're just sitting on, what's your advice for taking that first step?
Put it into motion. You don't need a business plan. You don't need to just sit there and dwell on it and think that, I don't have time or it's not right. Put it out there. It's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's that mindset. When you put something out, when you say it out loud, when you put it on paper, that you're telling the world that this is something that you want to do, and things start happening to make that happen for you to realize your vision. Whether it's God or just your mind starts to work to put things in line so that you can achieve your goals. We typically put up all these different obstacles of why we can't do something when we should reverse that of why should we not do it? We need to do it. So my main point is don't allow yourself to be the obstacle. Go for it. Do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's fine. Go for it.
Good. Yeah. And like you said earlier, you're going to learn from those mistakes anyways.
Yes. And
that's how you make things better.
Yeah. It's just like you tested when you were in grade school with, hypothesis. You test them, you find out what to do, and you pivot and you make changes. The rest of the road will outline itself for you.
All right. So when you designed the first Royal Restrooms trailer, was it your daughters the first one to test it out?
Actually, they were.
I figured as much because if it wasn't for her, you probably wouldn't have been doing this. And what was her reaction to it? She's like, well, first, how do I flush it? But two,
this is great. Even my son, who is 8 now, whenever we get he'll be running around in the back here at the office, and instead of going to the bathroom, he'll just open a door and go pee in a toilet. You go back and you look at it and you see the little dribble everywhere, and you're like, all right, David, come on. What, where the bathrooms are that we use, but he just still goes and pees in whatever stall is most convenient to him, which I guess I should say is better than him peeing outside on something else.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. I'm glad you designed this because the thing is, talking about your son there, guys have no problem going outside finding a tree. But for women, it's completely different. And let's face it, whenever you go to these festivals and all you see are porta pots lined up, it can be disgusting.
Yeah.
I mean, truly disgusting.
And
at night, forget about it. You're lucky if you can even see where you're going to the bathroom inside one of those things.
I know. Well, talking about the kids and funny things that they did and going to the bathroom and wanting to test them out. My children have always been involved with everything. That's one of the joys of being a entrepreneur, and you're able to take your kids with you. They're able to see these things. And a lot of times we did these festivals, my kids would be with me if I needed to fix something. And if I was working around back where tell them to make sure that they stand out front, make sure the bathrooms stay clean. Just here's your spot. This lady told me not too long ago that this was the first time that she was ever using one of the trailers, one of the restrooms, and she was standing in line, and there's a line of people out there. I think it was like a breast cancer walk or something. And Stella said, "You can poo-poo in there. You can sit down. It's a real toilet." And she is talking to this way, and she is trying not to announce to her. She's like, "Well, do you have to go poo-poo? You can poo-poo in there. You can poo-poo in there." The lady goes in, she walks out, and Stella's like, "Did you poo-poo? I told you could sit down on that on the toilet. It's a real toilet. You can Did you poo-poo?" She said that she was so mortified, but she said that that was the nicest experience that she has ever had, and also at one time being the most embarrassed she was.
I like that, though. You could go poo-poo. You could go.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I always like to ask my guests for a feel-good story from somebody that they've helped out or a customer. Well, you just gave it to me there. It's a feel-good and funny and embarrassing at the same time.
Yeah. We've got tons of those.
Oh, I bet. All right. So, David, before I get to my last question, is there anything you would like to add besides the website again?
Sure. So we're on all the social links under Royal Restrooms. You can find us. We're in close to 50 different locations in, I think, 20 different states. Mm-hmm. Reach out to us. Our local owners do an extraordinary job, and they're there to make sure that we do things properly and right. You know, so many people have gotten into this business, and it's a great business. But we've been here for 22 years. We know what we're doing, and this is something that you want it to be done right. And this is something where history matters and service matters.
Yeah.
Not just the price. It is making sure that event goes off without a hitch. This is the thing that you don't want people to remember, but you don't want them to have a bad experience. You want them to have a great experience.
And the thing is, if your business, you keep improving upon it, adding all the different trailers and everything. And I mean, to me, if I have a franchise of Royal Restrooms, I'm going to give me all the trailers, because an outside festival, I'm going to tell the people, hey, I can supply you with almost everything, not a dance floor, but I can supply you with most of the major things you're going to need. And with weddings, it can be a hassle, and even festivals, it can be a hassle dealing with more than one company to get all those things. It's nice to deal with one company, and Royal Restrooms is the company that people should be dealing with.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm plain and simple. All right, so this is the last question, and I don't know what it's going to be, so you're going to have to pick. Yeah, I like doing this. It's different. Pick a number between 1 and 100.
We're going to go with 12.
What number? 12? Why 12? Oh.
Birthday's 12/12. It's always kind of been
just
a good number for me.
I can't complain about that. My wife and daughter were born on October 12th. So
there you go.
All right.
See there?
What's a misconception people often have about you, and what's the reality?
Oh, I think that the misconception most about me is I am standoffish. My face says, don't approach me or don't talk to me sometimes. And I feel like that. My wife tells me a lot of times that I've got this, just kind of staunch look that just says, I'm involved in something else in my head. And it's just my face, like I can't help it, but yeah, people, I used to be so outgoing and so social, and now I go places. We even go, and it's the nod, it's the handshake, but there's no. It's almost like I can't get normal conversation anymore. And
Wow.
sometimes some of the things that I say jokingly, and people are kind of like, "Oh wow," like they don't know how to take it sometimes.
Right.
But I really enjoy being social. I miss being very social, but it's almost like I've turned that into something that I need to be, whereas I used to just enjoy it. So I think maybe I'm always when I go to these wedding shows and different things, that I am very outgoing, but then when I go, just like my kid's soccer game, it is hard to engage with the other gentlemen that are there with other, it's almost, I don't know. I don't know what vibe I'm throwing out, but it hurts my feelings. Like, I'm like sad. I'm like, like this is hard work now to socialize when it used to not be. And I don't understand what I've done different or how I've changed, or maybe it's just how people, think about maybe Royal Restrooms, or that I don't know. I don't know what vibe I'm throwing out. Like I've even started to go to take improv classes just to open up that thought process, because my brain goes to whatever you say has to be right rather than the first thing that is said. I want to get back to being open, and I guess maybe I need to get Botox, open my eyes up a little bit more. I need to just learn how to smile, because my facial muscles are just blood. I don't know.
Now, David, you don't need to do anything. It's the other people. They need to open up their eyes and realize they can approach you and talk to you, and there's nothing wrong. That's what it is.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. So, I will stand in my corner and wait for people to approach me.
Hey, look, if I ever come down to Savannah, Georgia, I'm walking right up.
Hey, and we'll have a great time.
David, I want to thank you so much, man. It's been an honor and a pleasure. I can't wait to talk to you again. And those of you listening, especially those of you right here in Maryland, start a Royal Restrooms business here.
Yeah.
It's needed. It's needed.
We need to be back up in the Northeast. We had an office up there like 10 years ago out in Fairfield, Connecticut. But there are many locations. There are so many requests that we get that we are just unable to service. Just our mere presence, online authority, we get requests that we are unable to do. We need an office up there. We need several offices up there.
I have a funny feeling you're going to get some.
I hope so. Rich, I'll owe it all to you, buddy.
Thank you for listening to the Conversations with Rich Bennett. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something from it as I did. If you'd like to hear more conversations like this, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I'd love it if you could leave a review. It helps us reach more listeners and share more incredible stories. Don't forget to connect with us on social media or visit our website at conversationswithrichbennett.com for updates, giveaways, and more. Until next time, take care, be kind, and keep the conversations going. It takes a lot to put a podcast together, and my sponsors help out a lot, but I also have some supporters that actually help me when it comes to the editing software, the hosting, and so forth. There's a lot that goes into putting this together. So I want to thank them. And if you can, please visit their websites, visit their businesses, support them however you can. So please visit the following: Full Circle Boards. Nobody does charcuterie like Full Circle Boards. Visit them at fullcircleboards.com. Sincerely Sawyer Photography. Live in the moment. They'll capture it. Visit them at sincerelysawyer.com. The Joppatown Lions Club, serving the community since 1965. Visit them at joppatownlionsclub.org. And don't forget the E at the end of Joppatown, because they're extraordinary.